Today's video is about a 6'6" vocalist that was blessed with a warm, sweet voice. This vocalist is one of the leading figures of Chicago soul during the 60s. This singer not only had a lovely voice, but his material was excellent. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Major Lance. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Born Major Lance on April 4th, 1939 in Wintersville, Mississippi, Lance's birth year has been a long cause of debate, since some sources list it as 1941 or 1942, although his gravestone states it's 1939. He's one of 12 children that was born to Lucindy Lance. As a child, Lance loved playing baseball. His family soon relocated to the west side of Chicago, where he was initially raised until his family moved to the northwest side of the city, where they lived in the Cabrini Greens projects. Growing up, he developed a very close friendship with another singer, Otis Lavelle Cobb. Both attended Wells High School with Curtis Mayfield and Jerry Butler. While in high school, Lance developed an interest in boxing. According to Mayfield, he called Lance a sparky fellow and a great basketball player. Lance's interest soon veered towards music, looking up to Jackie Wilson, also being friends with Butler and Mayfield, who was chasing a singing career at this time. According to Mayfield, Lance often came to him and would go through his book bag looking for songs that Mayfield didn't necessarily want to give to the impressions. He also stated that Lance was great at picking the right songs. Lance and Otis both took boxing as a hobby, and there was also members of a local group named the Five Gospel Harmonaires. The duo also worked together at a local drugstore. During the mid-50s, the duo formed the Floats with Barbara Tyson. However, they broke up before they could record any material. Now around this time, Lance dancing earned him a spot on a local American Bandstand style show called Time for Teens. His appearance on this show led to the show presenter, Jim Bloomsbury, offering him a one-time deal with Mercury Records. Lance took advantage of this deal and teamed up with his high school classmate Curtis Mayfield, who wrote and produced his first single, I Got a Girl, in 1959. Now this song didn't have any success, and due to this, Lance worked various jobs over the next few years to supplement his income. Under the advice of Mayfield, Lance went to OK Records, where he constantly showed up at the office offering to run errands for Carl Davis, telling him about the record he once made and how him and Curtis Mayfield was friends from their childhood. Eventually, this worked out in his favor, and by 1962, he signed with OK Records. Lance partnered up with Mayfield again to create the song Delia.
To miss out on this thing introduced to me was a lie.
Now, although this song wasn't successful, this made his partnership with the writing and arranging team of Curtis Mayfield, Carl Davis, and Johnny Pate, with the impressions often providing backup vocals for Lance. Together, they made a distinctive Latin teen sound which emphasized the Chicago soul, unlike other music. Lance's third single was called The Monkey Time.
Are you ready? Well, you get yours, 'cause I got mine.
This song became the label's first hit song in 10 years. His time with OK Records became more successful with songs Hey Little Girl,
That's with you. So I like to do the monkey too. And let's get
The Matador,
and I know you can do it too. Get in the groove and begin.
Girls.
Girl,
It Ain't No Use.
go back home to the one you chose the best.
Rhythm.
Anytime the music carries on.
Sometimes I Wonder.
Can I get an answer? You said
Come See.
my feet gonna say as I do the New York Church.
Ain't It a Shame?
Nobody knows the trouble I see. The way you use my love.
Too Hot to Hold.
Worth much more than money and gold and your love.
Everybody Loves a Good Time.
Everybody loves a good time, yeah.
Investigate.
'Cause my love is true now. We'll make a fool out of you.
It's the Beat.
When you get out on the floor, it's the same thing.
And Without a Doubt.
Honest, without a doubt in my mind.
Lance and Davis continued to work together during this time where Pate and Mayfield left OK Records. But the duo had poor success before Davis left the company for good. Now during this period, Lance toured the UK where he was supported by Bluesology, a band that included pianist Reggie Dwight, who later became known as Elton John. Over the next 2 years, he began working with several music producers. Before leaving OK Records in 1968, Lance released albums such as Monkey Time in 1963, in 1964, and The Rhythm of Major Lance in 1968. By 1969, he moved to Dakar Records where he released the singles Sweeter As the Days Go By
When I hold you in my arms.
and Follow the Leader. By 1970, Lance signed with Mayfield label Kurt Crumb Records, where he released 2 charted singles, Stay Away From Me.
You see the devil in my bones.
Now this song was listed as number 4 in the Jack Magazine's Soul Brothers Top 20, followed by his last hit single for the label, Must Be Love Coming Down.
It's all in your mind. The get down music that we always play.
In 1971, Lance left the label where he recorded for Vote Records for a short amount of time. Here, he released the singles Girl Come On Home,
Girlie, 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 girl, please come on.
I Wanna Make Up,
Love drifting away from me like a ship drifting away from
and Ain't No Sweat.
what I have to offer. You found in another guy.
In 1972, Lance moved to England where he became known as a legendary UK club act, also being known to deliver 110% on every performance. During his time in the UK, he recorded the album Major Lance's Greatest Hits, recorded live at the Torch. Now this album is considered one of the best Northern Soul's albums ever made. By 1974, Lance returned to the US, where he established a label with Al Jackson, who was a former member of Booker T and the MGs, named Osiris Records, but the label had little to no success. During this time, his songs was becoming less popular, but that was very popular on the beach music circuits in the Carolinas, where he decided to perform for some time. 1975 was the last year that Lance had a charted song with You're Everything I Need.
Well, I ain't got much more.
Lance recorded for various labels such as Playboy, Osiris, Columbia, Soul, and Cat Family Records. During Lance's lifetime, he was married 1 time. and he also have 9 children. During his lifespan, he was arrested twice. Once in 1965, when he was arrested in a violation of a paternity act. A Chicago woman declared that Lance was the father of her child, even stating that Lance promised to pay for her doctors and hospital visits, which was around $375. Since he didn't pay, the judge issued for his arrest. By 1978, after being with Soul Records for a brief time, he released the album Now Arriving. But later that year, his career took a turn for the worse as he was convicted of cocaine possession and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. After being released from prison, Lance tried to restart his career, and in 1983, he released the album The Major's Back. Now, tragedy struck once again in 1987 when he had a heart attack that prevented him from relaunching his career, also suffering from a bad case of glaucoma that nearly left him blind. In 1994, Lance gave a final triumphant performance at the Chicago Blues Festival, which turned out to be his last ever performance. Lance sadly passed away in his sleep at the age of 55 from suffering from heart disease, leaving behind a legacy that stands among the best Midwestern souls of the 60s. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. Do you believe Major Lance deserves to be into a Hall of Fame? If so, which one? Also, what is your favorite song from Major Lance?